These days, we can get news as much as we want. If we watch TV, we can turn on CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, right? And get news 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If we go online, we can get news from all different sources all the time. And this is often easier than trying to get them from the individual sources, right? If you want to read articles from multiple newspapers, you don't want to just go out and buy multiple newspapers and they're heavy and you got to schlep them around and you get newsprint on your hands. You can just go online and read the articles you want to read from each paper. So much easier. You don't have to sit in front of your TV. You can watch a little clip of it and then move on, right? So we have access to the news online on our phones so easily now. And you might think that this 24-hour news access, this ease of access on the internet would make it so that we're better informed as citizens. But actually, this is where the paradox of plenty comes in. We have so much more access to news than we've ever had before, but we don't really use it because we also have so much more access to everything else. I mentioned when I was talking about television news in its sort of early years that if you wanted to watch TV, there were times a day when it was you watch the news or you turn off the TV. And there was no flipping to another channel to watch something else. It was the nightly news or nothing. So people watched the nightly news. But now you can watch the nightly news or you can flip to another channel and watch not the news, right? In fact, there are probably more channels without the news than with it. So we no longer have to watch the news. The internet is full of news, but it's also full of everything else imaginable, right? So we can just not engage at all. And we've seen that happen. People just don't watch the news. Now, about half of Americans get news alerts on their smartphone, if they have a smartphone. So you think, oh, yay, like a lot of people, you get news alerts. They're probably pretty well informed, like half the public. But of this 55% that actually get news alerts on their phone, 18% hardly ever get them, and only 13% get them often. And of this group that does get some quantity of news alerts, only about half even click through and follow up. So we're saying half of Americans, give or take, get news alerts, and only half of them even follow up. We're seeing how that is winnowing down, that we just have fewer people engaging with the news, even though it's practically coming to us. Now, when people do engage, because there are so many different options of what to engage with, people can choose the type of news they want. Liberals can watch more liberal-leaning news programs or read more liberal-leaning publications. Conservatives can do the same on the conservative side, right? So we can pick the news we want. And that makes a lot of sense that people do this because we don't like the cognitive dissonance of hearing something that disagrees with us, right? No one wants to be told, you're wrong and here's why. So we tend to want to choose news that agrees with us, that supports our worldview, our attitudes. And we're going to learn more about attitude formation later this unit. So even though there's a ton of news out there, we often don't engage with it. And it's easier for us to not engage with it than it used to be. And when we do, we can pick and be very selective about what we engage with. So that means that even though there's a lot of information out there, we're not necessarily seeing the citizenry become any more informed than they were in the past.